Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure, where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
You can also follow along with our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chelsea Gen Excellent Adventure, or you can just type in the name of this podcast, Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure. If you have any questions or subjects you'd like us to address, go ahead and send them through our Instagram page. We will be looking at other ways to get this out there soon, so maybe it'll be on YouTube. We'll see.
So today's episode is about our very first getaway. It's been a little more than 2 months since we arrived in the UAE, and we are actually broadcasting live. You might be able to hear the wave sounds in the background because we are on our patio of our hotel room here in Fujairah.
Because we cannot be inside the hotel room because our child is asleep. Funny enough, to a noise machine playing ocean waves. So the ocean waves are soothing to all here, and hopefully they are not annoying.
Yes, I'm sitting in the way where the actual waves are on my left and the inside is on my right, so I guess I'm getting ocean waves in stereo.
Okay, so we wanted to talk a little bit about where we are, and basically this will be an episode about our vacation.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, so for our first getaway, we are in an emirate called Fujairah,
Yep.
which is on the east coast of the UAE.
Yeah, and the UAE is quite small. If you haven't looked at a map, it's worth looking at because it's interesting to see how small it is, considering how much press and it gets and how many people come here. It's quite small. But Fujairah is known to be a vacation place. It's because of the coast, and they have lots and lots of resorts in the various areas of Fujairah.
And we, in Dubai, are over on the west coast of the country, and we drove about 2 hours to get here to Fujairah.
Yeah, it was
So
2.5 hours with one stop.
It wasn't a long journey, but it was a journey. I mean, we did have to pack up and run the car for a while and drive across a lot of deserts.
Yes, and a really cool drive, to be honest. I mean, we hadn't seen the mountains yet. We've heard about them, we've seen pictures, but we did go through them and we're still in them. Fujairah is basically surrounded by mountains, these rugged, amazing mountains right up to the coast. Very cool.
Yeah, we can see some of those mountains, like, not out of our window, but...
Well, the minute you walk out of the hotel.
Hallway. Well, yeah, the windows out the hallway.
Oh, that's true.
Show you the mountains out behind us.
And from the beach, you're looking all around you at mountains. It's really quite stunning.
Yeah. We should mention that this hotel is right on the beach.
Yep.
And we have, from our room right now, even though it's nighttime, we have a very lovely view of the water.
Yeah. And last night, I don't see them right now, but last night we saw stars. And, we really don't see stars in Dubai. So that was lovely. It was really nice to look up and go, oh my gosh, stars. How pretty.
And the body of water we have that we were looking at is the Gulf of Oman.
Yes.
So that is like the first real, we can see the Persian Gulf from where we did there in Dubai, but this is the first real good look at sea or ocean.
Right.
Since we've been here.
Right. So we thought we would let you know why we picked this area and then give you kind of a rundown of our stay and what we've learned just in general vacationing.
Well, I think the first place that you really had considered us going to was Oman.
Yes, that's true. Originally, and really from the very beginning of the time we got here, or from the very first moment that we got here and I talked to anybody about going anywhere, it was Oman. You can drive there in 4 to 5 hours, and we just thought, yeah, of course we're going to go to another country if we can. And part of that was once upon a time you could, if if somebody was on a visa that needs to be refreshed, basically, they can extend their visa a little bit longer. You could just drive across the country to another country, and then it automatically restarts. That is no longer true here, but people think it's still true. So that was kind of what we were thinking to do for Nick. But in the end, we just went ahead and got his his visa taken care of and his ID. And then I was talking to a coworker about how we were going to go to Muscat with our kid who's 5, and she was like, "Oh no, go to Fujairah, go to a resort. Just don't do something so stressful as wandering a city with your child." I was like, you know what? You're right.
Well, and it was a lot closer as well.
It was a lot closer, yeah.
Going to Muscat, we probably would have had to fly, right?
No. It's a 4 to 5 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have had to fly. But there's another part of Oman we were talking about that you would have had to fly to. So anyway, she was right. It's been a lot at work, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just the beginning of the year is always like that. And I was tired and was like, you know what, getting away and just letting our kid play in the pool and in the ocean sounds fantastic. And maybe he'll make friends.
And the 2-hour drive is a lot better than 5.
So much better. Yes.
Even though we are here, I mean, this wasn't a weekend. We are in the midst of, for UNT, 5-day weekend.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
amazing.
There's the 3 days off, and is it just sort of a...
It's a midterm break.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And the school next to us is not having that break, but a lot of schools in the area are having them. Some of them for the whole week. Ours is for 3 weekdays. And T doesn't even have school on Thursday because it's parent-teacher conferences for him. I do have it Thursday and Friday. So, but going back to work after 3 days off after the weekend is great. I'm great.
That was a nice reminder that I got to figure out what we're going to be doing on Thursday.
That's right. UNT are on your own.
Chelsea's still working.
Yep.
T is off, so
yep.
it's Father Sunday.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, we chose Fujairah. I went back and forth. I did the research, right? I looked back at Iraq, which is another emirate, Ras Al Khaimah, and I went back and forth between that and Fujairah. And in the end, Fujairah won because it was a little bit closer. Maybe. I'm still confused about that. And also, it was cheaper, more inexpensive for the resort that we got. I just felt like just like a little bit, and that made a difference.
Well, and the other thing about coming to Fujairah is that we are in an area of the UAE that's a little bit cooler than Dubai.
That's true as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a lot. It's like, what, maybe 5 degrees or so?
Yeah, 4 or 5 degrees, depends on the day.
But that really, we're at a point now, I would say that over in Dubai, we're comfortably in the 90s as highs now. We're in double digits instead of triple digits.
Yeah.
But for us, there's a big difference between 93 and 88.
Yeah, and it got hotter, I would say, the last 2 days here, but the first 2 days were definitely cooler. And in fact, the very first day there were clouds, and we were like, oh my gosh, we're looking at actual clouds. And it turns out there were clouds across the country, and in fact, massive rainstorms. And we missed all of that, which I'm a little bit sad about. But the clouds and the breeze have felt really, really nice. Really nice.
Okay, so we've mentioned Fujairah as one of the Emirates, and then you mentioned Iraq, Ras Al Khaimah.
Also a big vacation spot.
So this is our game show moment for Chelsea here. We're going to quiz her.
Oh, it's just me. Oh, cool. Okay.
There are 7 Emirates that make up the UAE. How many of those 7, after 2 months, are you capable of naming?
Okay. Let's see. There's no timer on this. I'm going to try. Okay, I said Iraq. I said Fujairah.
That's 2.
Sharjah.
Yeah, that's 3.
Dubai.
4.
Abu Dhabi.
5.
The Al-Keen. It's something Al-Keen. I can't remember how to spell it, but it's between Sharjah and Iraq, like up the coast.
So do we give you Al?
Yeah, Al-Keen. Al-Keen. Yes, you have to give that to me.
Okay, so there's 6.
But I cannot get 7.
And I don't know the exact pronunciation, but Ajman?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it on signs. That's it.
Well, and no, I've looked at the map. And the UAE is very complicated because these are not emirates that are all just one piece of land. Up where we are right now, you have little splotches of every single emirate.
Which is confusing because I was like, what?
Plus a big piece of Oman.
Right. Yes, this random piece of Oman in between all of these other areas of UAE. And there's a whole history behind that, but it's called Musandam, and we actually ran into it today, the border, and we have a rental car for several months, and you have to let the rental car know if you're going to go into Oman because you have to buy additional insurance for it. And we did not do that, so we were like, oh, so close, but we cannot go.
Yes, but we saw the border crossing into Oman.
Yeah.
There was no line. I mean, we would have been able
zero.
to go right in. It was like a one-lane road that went through. I was a little surprised at just how small it was. You're going into a completely other country.
I was not surprised by that because it's another kind of vacation-y area, but and people say it's really interesting to go there. So I know we were kind of bummed we couldn't cross into Oman, but we didn't get the insurance, and we really didn't need to pay for that when it was literally like going to be an hour that we would have been there.
Well, and also this isn't necessarily the part of Oman that we would be interested in going to.
I mean, I would be, but not for such a brief moment.
So this would be the part of Oman that is north of the UAE, up to the tip of the peninsula, if you're looking at the map. And it's a smaller part of Oman. And the main body of the country is to the south.
Yeah.
So the places that you know about, the parts that's the bulk of the country, it was not the part that we are bordering right now.
Right. This is just this other part. Anyway, we don't know enough about it to go on and on about it, but we saw it. It looked interesting. Maybe someday. Okay, so anyway, we talked about the drive out. We've talked about the clouds. Okay, so we are staying at a resort, which is something that we have done one other time with my brother and my entire family because my brother paid for it. Thank you to my brother. And that was an amazing trip. It was in Puerto Vallarta. We have never ourselves done or planned a trip like this. We've never been resort people, partly because we have had access to condos through my mom's kind of timeshare thing, and also because we've been able to access a house that your parents share with a lot of other people on water, and we've been very fortunate. And then the vacations that we've done outside of those things, which haven't been that many, have either been visiting people or Airbnbs.
Yeah, it's been, when you've had a young child, it's nice having access to a kitchen, to another bedroom, those various factors. Because, when you have a child, you end up in a situation like this.
Where
T's asleep at 7:30. And we are 9 people.
Yeah.
And so we have to figure out where we're going to be for the next few hours.
Right. And we're sitting on the balcony. Yeah. So anyway, we're doing a resort for the first time. We don't really have the funds to get something like a suite. Maybe someday. But it still has been nice to be in a space where we don't really have to think about it much. And everybody's very, very kind here, like the resort staff. They're just absolutely lovely. And
I mean, there's a lot of perks here. I mean, there are 5 different pools that are part of this resort.
Mm-hmm.
There's an adult pool, there's a kid pool, there's a nice large all-purpose pool, and then there's it's not even a pool, it's like a series of pools of different sizes and depths that are by one of the buildings. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if I've seen anything quite like it before.
I know.
But it seems to be, it's good for kids.
It's great for families, yeah. We, it's not, you pay for what you get. It's not been kept up super well on the inside. I would say the amenities are great and the location is fantastic and the staff is really, really awesome. It is not the nicest place you've ever seen, but also it's fine. Like, it's fine.
Well, and then we get access to the buffet breakfasts as well.
That's true. We paid for the breakfast inclusion, did not pay for the entire
All inclusive.
All inclusive, yeah. We paid for breakfast to be included, but not the rest of it. And yeah, that's something we'll talk about in a little bit. And we ended up in a room. So there's three main buildings at this resort, and we were in one of them, the first one, and that one is supposed to be the nicest rooms, which I took to mean has a couch. Like there was a couch in there,
Yeah,
so it's a little bit bigger.
They were a little bigger, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bigger. Otherwise, pretty much the same, but our view was over the children's play area, so we couldn't really see the ocean unless we walked out into the balcony, which was not a huge deal, but, you know, a little bit bummer. But the biggest issue with it is that they have live music going on every night until 2 a.m., but it goes on outside until like 10:30.
And they are not keeping those speakers
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really...
It's not contained.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. The band is good, so nothing to say about the band.
Yeah, the Cuban band.
Yes, the Cuban band. But we did not know there would be a band, and we certainly didn't know it would be basically under our windows. And so what was happening is we put our kid to bed, and then we couldn't go outside because their music was blasting us. We could hear the music inside. He was taking a little while to fall asleep. We were getting really frustrated. We couldn't even talk. We couldn't even like enjoy our evening together as a couple. So I asked after the first night, I asked if they could change rooms. They were full up. They couldn't do it. But after the second night, they did in fact move us to the slightly lesser building, building 2, which turns out to be a much better space for us.
Yeah, it's
so much better.
It's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have room for a couch, but they did have enough room to come bring in a roll-away bed.
Yeah, which is all we needed. We just needed a place for him to sleep.
Yeah, and otherwise the room's pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Including the odd window into the bathroom.
Yeah, that's right. There's this window into the bathroom, which we figured out when we got into our first room. I went to the bathroom, was sitting on the toilet, and Nick taps on the window, and I'm like, oh, Nick can see me. There's a blind there. We put it down. Anyway, this time we put it down right away, or actually you did. It was pretty funny.
Anyone out there listening knows exactly what the purpose of this is, because I'm sure there's got to be a reason for that.
I am wondering, because if you have your stuff, they have a little hanging line for wet clothes, like swimsuits and stuff, in the bathroom, which we didn't realize was there. And then the person who cleaned our room for us, who was lovely, he put it up and hung up our wet stuff, which was like so kind. And then I wondered after that, like a day or two later, I wonder if you open that up, will things dry better? Because if you get the light from outside, because right now it's completely dark in that room if we don't have the lights on in the bathroom. So that's my now interpretation of why the window's there.
Well, if there's anyone out there that can confirm that or give us a different reason, please drop us a note in Instagram.
It's so funny.
It is something that I have yet to experience.
Yes, first time we've seen it. Anyway, our room is now looking directly at the ocean. We're listening to the ocean. It is absolutely gorgeous, and we do not hear the music. It is so great.
Yeah, we downgraded it into a better room.
We were like, okay. They were like, but you paid for the premium. I was like, I don't care. Please just give me another room. And they did. Yeah, and they moved all our stuff. We didn't have to do it. I just packed it up, and then a porter moved it, and we tipped them. Anyway, just really, again, accommodating staff. As soon as they could do it, they did.
So one thing that you kind of realized is that this was our first time really going to a beach since we arrived here in the UAE.
Yeah.
Which is surprising, given that there's plenty of beach in Dubai, and we're not far from it.
Yeah.
But it's just been so hot.
Yeah, nobody goes to the beach.
There's been no occasion to go to the beach and get into the salt water there in Dubai. But coming here, we finally got to do that.
We did. And it's been really, really fun. We go between the beach and the pools. Well, on the first day, we got here and we went out at the end of the day, like 4 to 5:30, and the sun had gotten past the heat, the worst of the heat, and it wasn't even really shining on the ocean that way.
The resort, the way it's set up is that I think we're definitely east facing, so the sun sets behind the building. So the building creates shade on the beach and in the pools.
Yeah.
In mid-afternoon.
Right. So that was lovely. We also couldn't have gotten our stuff out there any earlier because the first full day we were here, we went to breakfast in the morning, kind of took our time, dawdled around, ran into somebody I know from school, actually kind of know, talked to them for a while. You know, we just took our time because the pool didn't open until 9:30. And so then when we wanted to go to the beach after the pool, we realized, oh, all the chairs are full.
Well, we should explain that too.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of beach chairs that are out on the beach.
Yeah, like most hotels do.
With umbrellas to provide a little shade. What happens is there are more people at this resort than there are beach chairs.
Well, yeah. I think that's probably true. We haven't really done other resorts, but I would guess that's true most places. But yeah, it was interesting. And so we learned that you have to get up super early if you want to get a beach chair. And
Right.
you can just leave your stuff there. You don't have to stay there.
Right, you have to, but if you want to make sure you have a decent beach chair, you got to get out there first thing in the morning, get your towels down.
Yeah.
And kind of stake out your spot.
Right. And we're not even hanging in the chairs. We're like doing stuff. It's just so that we have a place to put our stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people here are actually hanging in the chairs. They are sun tanning. And we're like, just get me in the water. Let me dig in the sand. Or, you know, T really wants to dig in the sand. And then we're going back and forth between the beach and the pool. But we still need a place to put those towels, and we need a place to put stuff. And similar to Dubai, you can just leave your stuff hanging around and nobody's going to take it, which is awesome.
Well, and speaking of, going from ocean to pool and everything, we've seen T make incredible leaps in his swimming abilities in the time that we've been here.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've talked about this before because as soon as we got here, his swimming got better and stronger, and now he's doing swim lessons at school and he's repeating some of what he's learned, including today he was showing me how to tread water, which, by the way, is a skill I do have. I'm an excellent water treader. I can tread water for hours. But hearing my kid explain how to do it was just like giving me such joy. It really filled my soul. And he was doing it. Now, granted, at the time, it was in the ocean and he had a life jacket. But in the pool, he showed me too. So.
Well, and he's basically swimming himself across the pool without any help from us.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this was in 3 days. We are watching him almost do full strokes. What he's doing is he's doing the crawl stroke, but he doesn't know how to turn his head to the side yet. So he's doing the crawl stroke, but he's lifting his head out of water, breathing, and then going back in. But he's not maintaining the same energy because he hasn't figured out how to turn his head to the side. Doesn't matter. He's gonna get there. I mean, I would guess in like a month he's gonna know that. Yeah, this has been incredible. Living in a place where there's so much access to water, and then specifically right now having these days of every day is so helpful. And as always, being around other people who can swim, other kids, even if he's not interacting with them, makes him want to do it more.
Yeah, there was one girl in the pool, for example, who he was playing with a little bit, who was very good at going underwater, like going down to the bottom of the pool to go pick up a shell that got dropped there.
Yeah.
That is his obsession now.
Yeah.
Is getting himself underwater and trying to get as low as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll cheat sometimes in that he likes to grab my shorts or my leg to get himself all the way down to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
But that's been something he's really concentrating on, is
Right.
trying to figure out how to do that.
Well,
and he's really buoyant, so it's a challenge for him to
Yeah.
get down to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah. He also taught himself backflips today, and he did so many of them. So.
By that you mean like he's in the water.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
sorry,
like
water
backflipping into the
backflips.
water.
water backflips. But he was like, I'm doing a backflip, and he kept doing somersaults. And I was like, well, actually, let me explain what a backflip is. And then he did it. He did it, and he did it over and over and over again until he was doing it well, and I wasn't worried about him hitting his head on the ground.
So anyway, that's kind of a chronicle of a lot of the good things that have happened here on this trip. But we are on, what, this is night 4.
Yeah, this is our last night.
So we've experienced most of what we're going to experience here.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that were good. What are some of the things that we have learned from this experience?
Okay. Well, we are in Fujairah, and we have learned that it is a Russian holiday destination. We just didn't know that. And nothing, like, we're not saying anything negative about that. But just like, oh, okay.
You had kind of gotten tipped off a little bit right before we came.
Yeah, I got tipped off for 2 things. What were they? It was be prepared for lots of Russians. I was like, okay, cool. And then what was the other one? Oh, shoot. Can't remember right now.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is either.
Anyway, that the second one is me at my age forgetting what it was. But anyway, we learned, once we got here, I realized, oh, you were not kidding. It's like 90, probably more than 90% of the vacationers at this resort, and I think every resort in this area are of Russian descent. And that is the only thing to really note about that for us specifically is that it just made it hard for T to find kids to play with.
Well, I think we got a little spoiled in Dubai.
Yeah.
In that, in Dubai, most people speak some sort of English.
Right.
And we can communicate with just about anybody you run into.
Right, exactly.
I think a lot of the Russian clientele here doesn't necessarily speak English.
Yeah.
So you just have that language barrier that we hadn't really experienced yet since we came to the UAE.
Right. I was talking, or I asked a few people if they did, and it was usually a no. Just to find kids for T to play with. So he did end up one day, yesterday, playing with some kids who live in Dubai, but they're Colombian, I think, and they're older than him, but they were willing to play with him, and he got like a good hour plus playing with kids. So that filled him up because he's so social, really needs that time. Basically our goal when we travel is to have people for our kid to play with at least once. It really makes a difference. So anyway, that was interesting. And a couple of the other kids, and I will also say this, there were so many families here, so many kids, that it was really like extra heartbreaking that he didn't have anybody to play with. I was like, oh man, there's so many kids here, but there's just no interaction, and that was hard.
Yeah, and T is a real social kid.
Right.
But he's not necessarily the initiator.
Right.
When it comes to those social interactions. Once once things get going, he's full steam ahead.
Yeah, actually, I arranged that play date yesterday in the pool. I saw the mom, and I was like, could my kid play with your kids? And she was like, sure. And then he didn't want to, he was being all shy, and then he didn't catch a ball right away and wanted to walk out. And it was fine, though. He was fine. He got over it. He ended up having a great time. It really did make a difference for his day.
Okay, so there's one thing we learned. Another thing we learned is the value of going all-inclusive.
Yeah, probably when I looked at it, I kept getting messages from the hotel, do you want to upgrade to all-inclusive? And I was like, no. And then as I start paying for meals beyond breakfast, I was like, oh, I see why that might have been a good idea. So I've never done all-inclusive before. I don't do a lot of hotels, period. So I didn't understand why that was maybe a good and better idea. Also would have just made things simple. But because we didn't do all-inclusive, we also got out a little.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about doing all-inclusive, I think that you can see from here is that there's a real incentive just to stay on the resort.
Yeah.
Because, essentially you're not paying any extra for any of your food or beverage. And it's really easy to stay here all day. I mean, you can be out here at the beach, you can be at the pools. They have other things like activities, game room, that kind of stuff.
You take a nap.
And I'm sure that plenty of the people who are here are basically staying on the resort. But we, because we weren't tied down by all-inclusive, had kind of an incentive to go out and explore a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think we really have enjoyed our times out going and exploring the local city and the local town.
Absolutely. I mean, it was only today and yesterday, but that's of the 4 days that we've been here. That makes sense. Yesterday, we just kind of drove around. I had looked up a couple things that were nearby, so we went to Dibba Fort, or I think you said Dibba.
It's Dibba Al Fujairah Fort.
Yep.
Is the technical name.
And they have rebuilt a fort to look like an original fort, and it's really quite cool. I put a picture of it on our Instagram page, and I'll do more later with a reel or something, but really interesting to walk around and look at it, and including like one of the main economic drivers here before oil, I think, was dates. And they even had a room where dates were processed, and then a store, and you could just kind of go in and see, oh, wow, they did this here, like at the fort. Interesting.
So to get there, it's really, really right off the main highway here in the town of Dibba. That's the local town to this resort.
Yeah.
But you get off the main highway and you're immediately on dirt roads.
This is the second helicopter that's gone by.
No. If you're hearing that, that is the helicopter. And I think looking at the screen as a recording is going, seeing the I don't even know what you call that, the sound,
because we are
indicator.
Podcast professionals.
You can see that it is picking up that helicopter going by.
So interesting.
But it's dirt roads as soon as you get off the highway.
Yeah.
In order to get to the fort.
Yeah, I was like, where am I turning? Oh,
Yeah.
Onto the dirt road. Got it.
I mean, it was a nice, well-kept place, but we were the only people that were there. And I believe that there was one worker. That worker seemed quite happy to have us there.
Oh my gosh, what a sweet man. He didn't speak any English. He just was so kind and made sure we knew that we could go in all the rooms and let us take maps, which were set out for free, and really just like a lovely experience overall.
You know what was nice for me? I, of course, lived in England when I was 11.
Right.
Back in 1985. And we did castles basically every weekend. My dad is a castle nut. He wanted to see as many as we possibly could while we were there.
Nice.
And back in the 80s, a lot of these castles in England, they're minimally, if at all, staffed. And you had a lot of free reign to wander around these places and, going up staircases and walking along walls without rails. I mean, this is stuff that you wouldn't really see, certainly in the United States today. There'd be way more safety standards that had to be kept.
Yeah.
This felt a lot like my experiences back in England in 1985 in terms of going up the tall staircase that's very tall for T to be going up, and then climbing up a ladder that is a little tricky to get up, and then getting up on top of the main tower and having these big windows that only 2 feet tall to the window, and then it wouldn't be too difficult to fall out.
Right, and people here might not know that I definitely deal with heights issues. I usually do not avoid the things that are high because I don't want that to basically paralyze me. But yesterday I looked at the way to get to the roof and I was like, I don't need to climb that. That's big. And there's no railing. No, I'm good. So I just waited for them. But even T, who loves to climb things, was like, I'm ready to come down now. Yeah. So yeah, but it was still walking around the grounds and everything. It just was really a cool place. You got a really good photo from up there. That's the one I posted yesterday.
And you're in a historical space, and in Dubai, certainly in the part of Dubai we're in, you don't feel like you're getting a whole lot of historical spaces.
Yeah.
It feels very much like we're in the midst of area that has been built up in the last 50 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
So that
it was really cool to be someplace, you know, in the country where it didn't have that feel to it.
Yeah, and that is one awesome thing about being in somewhere completely different than Dubai. Okay, so we saw the fort, and then we also got out to eat. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But those things helped us leave because we weren't all inclusive.
Yeah.
And we were glad for opportunities. Oh, we did a really pretty drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that called?
It was like the Corniche Drive. I mean, I don't think that's the official name, but somebody posted it on some travel blog. And basically there's a street called Corniche. And so it juts out into a peninsula.
Yeah, it's a short drive, but it is kind of in a square that you go around, and you're driving basically along the water the whole way around.
And then there's parking areas and benches, and really so pleasant. And even just the lighting that is there, because we were there at dusk, the lighting is lovely. Mm-hmm. Like the lamps themselves are very, very pretty. So they put a lot of work into making that area very picturesque. Yeah. And you could see there were people jogging and people walking. The other thing to say about Fujairah, which I was told, I just remembered, is that it's a lot more conservative than Dubai. And so Dubai has plenty of conservative people because, of course, this is a Muslim country. There's various versions of that, but because there's so many expats that live in Dubai, you really don't see it in the same ratio as I do see it here. So when we went looking for food, I remembered that I should probably wear pants or a long dress, but we forgot to think about whether or not Nick or T should, and they were wearing shorts. So suddenly we realized, we better look for a Western kind of place that won't look down on that. Or even potentially kick us out. We just didn't know if that would happen, and we didn't want to risk it. We also just didn't want to be disrespectful. So both of those reasons were in our head. Anyway, it is definitely the ratios, I would say definitely more conservative here. I've seen a lot more fully clothed women and men. I haven't seen as many shorts outside of the resort as you see in the resort.
Yes. So one other thing that we learned, which is, I don't think it's a new learning thing, but we were reminded of, is the importance to hydrate.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we have been outside much more here than we have ever since we've arrived. I mean, how much time do you think we spent outside here the last couple of days? I mean, we're talking, 7-8 hours total outside.
Yeah, exactly.
In the sun, in the heat, in the humidity.
Yep.
And you gotta make sure you're drinking lots of water.
Yeah, I think our first day was almost like our first couple days in Dubai, where we just forgot that we have to do that. Like, we just hadn't fully realized how much sun we were getting, and weren't paying attention to the water the way we have learned to do when we're home.
Well, and the other thing is that at home, back in Seattle, I mean, you get very used to the fact that potable water is available right there in front of you. You can drink the tap water without any problem.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that is not the case here.
No.
So you gotta have, alternative water sources.
Right.
And you were just not quite as used to having, lots and lots of bottled water, for example, just kind of sitting around ready to be drank.
Well, because of that, we ordered a water dispenser at our house, or at our apartment, so we use that religiously. We order water for the water dispenser. But here, we got to our first room, and it came with 2 water bottles. And then we were like, that's not enough. So we found ourselves using the breakfast buffet to fill our water, our reusable water bottles. But every day they've given us more and more water. It's like they know these people are drinking a lot of water. We will give them more bottled water. We're very grateful for it. It comes with a little fridge in the room, so we're getting them cold, and then we pour them into our mostly, I'm blanking on words again. Insulated water bottles. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I like to tell people that I'm constantly playing a game of taboo in my head. If I just define the word, somebody else will come up with it. Okay, so
this is a part of being Gen Xers,
yes,
50-somethings.
And specifically me.
No, it's not just you.
Oh, okay. Specifically being, I was like, a lot of women I know are in this category, but Anyway, Nick just looks at me blankly when I'm like, the thing. Okay.
And the other thing on this particular subject is remember to bring your hats.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Chelsea brought her hats.
Yes, I did. I do, because you know what? At home in Seattle, I row. I row in the summers, and I am used to being on the water in the heat, not the same kind of heat as here, but in the heat, and I have my workout glasses, my sunglasses for that, and I have my hats for that. So I brought 2 hats because I was just thinking kind of like a rower.
So T and I do not have hats here, and as a result, I'd say we got a little bit pink.
Oh, a little bit pink, and also I just think overheated. That helped with the overheating. And this is my fault because I remembered it for myself. Nick did the packing. I should have said Nick did packing for T and him. That is lesson learned. Always bring hats when you're going on a beach vacation. Mm-hmm. Duh. And then the last thing we learned, well, there's 2 other things. One of them is have cash on hand. And again, because we are not hotel, beach resort people most of the time, we don't think about things like tips. And then the minute we get here, we're like, oh shoot, we need cash for tips. So part of the reason we had to go into town yesterday was to get some cash. Mm-hmm. So we could, tip the people.
Well, and when you get cash, you're not getting tip-sized bills either.
No, and so then we have to break it. It worked out because yesterday's dinner, their credit card machine wasn't working, so got to break some bills.
Okay. And let's see, the last thing is, we are parents of an only child.
Yes.
Who is very social.
Very.
And because of that, as we mentioned earlier, we look for people or other kids for T to play with. But one way you can kind of help that along is to travel with a friend.
Right, and we haven't gotten to that level with people here yet, and I just hope that we do. Like, there's lots of people at school that I get along with really well. Most of them, if they have kids, their kids are older, because the people that are my age don't have 5-year-olds. Yeah. Shocking. That doesn't mean we can't befriend people who are younger than us, of course. We just haven't met a lot of them yet. We do get along with one couple really well who also have an only child, and we've spent some play dates together. So maybe at some point we'll be able to do a trip together. But we could use some more of those, some more options for that. So we gotta find some friends for T to travel with that we also like.
Yes.
Yep. And in fact, those people that we met yesterday from Colombia/Dubai, they were 2 families. So the 2 boys were not brothers like I thought. They were friends from their family friends. So that was nice. They were doing it.
All right. So there's some things we've learned. And that brings us to our regular segment. It is time for our Excellents and Boguses.
Let's just know
our trip here to Fujairah.
Okay, and I was just going to note that we do, in fact, have children in the background. It's just not ours. Okay, so excellent. Want to go first?
Yeah, okay. So my excellent is our lunch today. And this is part of the getting out and exploring aspect. Is one of the things that we've done is gone out and looked for some places to eat in the town as opposed to here on the resort. And today you went and researched and found this place called Hawa Bloudan?
Bloudan, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a restaurant that's in Dibba, and it is a Mediterranean or a Middle Eastern restaurant. And was that food good?
Holy cow. It was so good.
I mean, we ordered a hummus as part of it. That was the best hummus I've ever had.
Yeah, and then...
I mean, I could eat that with a spoon.
I mean, we almost were. In fact, they had fresh basil leaves out. They had fresh cucumber, fresh tomatoes, fresh basil leaves, fresh onion. We didn't eat the onion, but everything else was being eaten. I thought the basil was spinach at first, and I used it to wrap up some of the hummus once, and then some of the other thing, I can't remember what it was called. It was kind of like baba ganoush, but it wasn't baba ganoush. Anyway, and I was like, oh, it's basil. Oh, you know what? I'm still going to eat it. Like, this is good. It's basically a spoonful with some basil around it.
And then we also got this rice and meat dish.
Which they had recommended. They
Yeah.
just came over, showed me a photo. The main server didn't really speak a lot of English, but he did understand what I was asking. And then he just showed me a photo. And I was like, okay, we'll get that. Why not? They're recommending it. And it came with this kind of dairy sauce that I thought was maybe like labna, but it wasn't. But it was for the rice, and they also had it over the meat. It was so tasty. It made the rice kind of sticky and yummy, and the rice was like a yellow rice that came with toasted cashews and almond slices. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
It was really good. I mean, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
And also very affordable.
Very affordable. Oh, and the hummus, you know, fresh hummus has the olive oil kind of in it. You can see like pockets of olive oil, and it also in the middle of it had all these like whole chickpeas. I've never seen it displayed like that. So you could eat like a full chickpea along with your your bites of hummus. And the baba ganoush like, but not baba ganoush thing also was covered in fresh pomegranate seeds. Y'all, I've never had anything like that before. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Well, one interesting aspect about so we've been to 2 restaurants here in Dibba.
Yep.
And they're both very similar in that they're kind of these, almost like these strip mall storefronts.
So many strip mall storefronts.
Where there are like 2 or 3 tables. I mean, it's very, very small inside.
Yeah.
And there's like one person in the main room who's sort of directing stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they do a lot of delivery here.
They definitely do, because they were hopping for people coming in and picking up, or people coming in and ordering. I mean, they're hopping, especially the one last night.
Yeah, the Sushi Boat.
Nick called it. So now we drove by and he's like, Sushi Boat. And I was like, that says boat.
In my defense, it was written in block letters.
Sure.
And that A very much resembled an R.
Okay.
It did.
Okay. Anyway, it was also tasty, so we don't want to not give them props. It was quite good. The menu is a little different.
Right. It wasn't limited to just sushi.
Yeah, but the sushi was quite tasty.
Yeah, and the staff was very, very friendly.
Oh my gosh, the nicest, and this cute gal who worked in the kitchen, I don't know where she was from, but she came out and interacted with T so much, and I'm always so grateful when people like engage with him, because he just loves it. He just loves it. It makes his time there a little bit better. If he's grumpy and somebody engages with him, he's happier.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, if you happen to be in Dibba, in Fujairah, in the UAE, check out Hawa
Bloudan.
or Sushi Boat.
Yep.
We had positive experiences in both of these locations.
And something else to say is everyone in the UAE, all the restaurants you go to, they ask you to do a Google review. It doesn't, not even just restaurants, like you get a mani-pedi, will you please do a Google review? And a lot of times, not always, there's an incentive. Please do this so you can get a discount next time, stuff like that. So then you read Google reviews and you're like, how authentic are these? And so I go in reading reviews thinking about how authentic are these, because there's like nothing negative on most of them. But I want to say with Hawa Bloudan, I haven't done a review yet. I will, because legitimately it was so tasty, and the reviews were really good. There were a couple ones in there that weren't as positive, but we only had a really pleasant experience. So, the one negative thing is I don't think they expect women in there, because there was no toilet paper and not even paper towels to put in the garbage. But other than that, but there was a sink, a bathroom, etc. Yeah, the food was amazing.
Okay, so now it's on to Chelsea's excellent.
Okay, my excellent is just getting salt water on a daily basis for these days, because I love salt water. I love lake water. I love all water, as you know, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
But salt water is good for my dry skin, and the floating aspect of it, just you don't even need to tread water. You can just like float, and that feels so good. So doing that, and then watching T get so excited to do the same.
Yeah.
That's something.
This is, I mean, has he had a real saltwater experience since he's really been super mobile?
No, because he had it in Puerto Vallarta, but he was only 3, and I barely 3.
Well, and also the waves were much larger there.
Yeah, we went. It was when we went on the boat ride that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just too long ago. So no, this was extra special. He will remember this. He might not remember the details, but he'll remember.
Yeah, and he's had a blast. He loves swimming, you know, with his life vest in the salt water.
Yeah.
He likes going up and down with the waves and having them crash him onto the beach.
Yep.
And rolling around on the sand as the waves roll over him.
Yeah, and then digging in the sand, which he loves everywhere, no matter where we are. So, yeah, and he thinks he wants to just dig, but then he gets, like, taken in by the water. He does eventually want to get in it.
Yeah.
I think he gets hot, too. So, yeah, that is I would say that's my main excellent. Just salt water for 4 to 5 days. Okay, what's your bogus?
All right, so for me, when we were driving out here, about halfway along the way, suddenly our rental car starts beeping.
Yeah.
And one of the emergency lights starts flashing.
But like,
it's very, very brief. It was It was so quick that you didn't have time to really figure out what was the issue that it was trying to alert you to. And it went off twice, but it was like 3 beeps each time. And then the second time I caught, I think, where on the dashboard it was flashing. But, you know, once it goes off, you can't see what that is anymore. And so we stopped to get to look at the manual and try to figure out what was going on, and also to get some snacks.
Yeah, it was interesting. There's like a boat out there right now, like a speedboat. Anyway, it was an interesting situation because it brought me flashbacks to my Prius, which had so many problems. I loved driving it, but I got a weird year that had so many problems, and this was that kind of thing where I was like, oh my God, what is it flashing? What is it flashing? Yeah, we did some research. We think maybe it was like sand in the road causing a traction thing.
Right. It seems to be that it was the analog braking system light that was flashing, and I think it does that when it starts to lose a little bit of the traction, and we're hoping that's what it was. That it was just something that it was starting to feel a little bit of movement because of maybe there was some extra sand on the highway in that point, and that we won't have to worry about that again. And we didn't have any more instances of it the rest of the way that we drove.
Yeah, right.
So we're crossing our fingers that was just a one-off deal.
Yeah.
And that it's not something to be concerned about.
Yeah. And thankfully it's not like a 5-hour drive, it's just the 2.5.
Still, being stranded out on the road between Dubai and Fujairah in the 95-degree heat out
not
in the desert
ideal.
Probably wouldn't be something we want to have to deal with.
No. Yeah, so a little worrisome, but on the other hand, not our car, so we wouldn't have to pay for repairs. So that's nice.
Okay. So that was my bogus. How about you?
Okay, well, my bogus is very much a Chelsea bogus because if you know me, you know I do not like smoke. This is sort of funny. When I checked in and we got here, she was telling me, because I'm a member of the hotel brand, and she was telling me that that means I get a 10% discount on all meals, but I don't get a 10% discount on alcohol or
room service.
Thank you. Or room service or shisha. And I was like, what? Shisha? She said shisha. And we went back and forth like that, like 4 times. And then finally she goes, smoking. And I was like, ah! And I was like, this is such a me moment where I have no idea what cool thing you're talking about because I am really out of it. Basically, it's another word for hookahs. Or hookah? I don't even know how you say it. But it's those big fancy smoky things. And they have them out at night, mostly when people want to rent them. I don't even know. But anyway, they'll buy or rent a hookah shisha thing out on the lounge. And we went out there for dinner one night because people were smoking inside. So we were like, okay, well, because it's kind of a bar, but kids are allowed. So I said, okay, then let's eat outside. And then they're like all around us outside the longer we stayed. I went, oh my God, I hate this. But it wasn't just me. You didn't like it. But the big thing was that T eventually was like, I don't like this. I want to go back inside. I mean, he really did not like it at all. And it reminded me so much of myself at that age, where when I was around that kind of thing, I also wanted to just cling to my mom and go home. But, you know, we just have to help him learn how to adapt. Mm-hmm. Everybody lives differently in different places, so that's our job. But no, you don't have to like it. It's okay.
So I think that brings us to an end to our Fujairah adventure episode. Yeah, it was really fun being able to be out here on the balcony recording this. I hope it turned out okay.
Yeah, I'm hot.
So we're going to go ahead and move ourselves back inside. We're going to cross our fingers that the audio came out okay and usable, so that we can have the authentic experience audio as part of this episode.
Yes, and hopefully we don't have to redo it.
And just remember, be excellent to each other.
Have a great week, everyone.